So, we want to create a book cover for a new release that I'm releasing, and we'll walk through it just so I can show you how I create my book covers. The first thing I want to do is come to Amazon so I can see what the book covers for the top ranked books look like. And you can see there's a variation of different books under Black romance, Black women's fiction. So, in a number of them, we have men featured. Some have couples, some are just text with visuals. We have a woman with some blingish type text. Gold seems to be a good color for our text. We have the author's name highlighted so that we can see it. Some females. Some background image with very bright text where the title is the center of the image. So, as you're looking to do your cover, it's definitely a good idea to come into Amazon and just see what some people are doing for the top selling books because, as with anything else, reader expectations, you want to meet their expectations. So, when they see your cover, it aligns with some of the covers that are there in the top selling books. Once you have an idea of what you'd like to create for your book, then you can come and start looking for photos that you want to use for your background image. For the story that I'll be creating today, I am writing a story called Risk It All, and it features a delivery man, a male delivery man, who knocks on the door of a woman who drops her towel. But come to find out, he is a saxophone player in a band chasing his dream to make it on the road one day. And she works in an office but has a hard time with anxiety and taking risk. So the risk will be him. In the cover, I do want to feature a Black man playing a saxophone. So something like this, kind of sexy with a young Black man who kind of features, who captures the features of the Black character that I will have in the story. So a younger man in his 20s, not too old, not too young, and definitely a Black character. So I selected a few images, and the preview here in Adobe Stock Photos will allow you to download and play around with the photos that you have so you can see what it looks like as you add it to your cover. Then I use Canva to create my cover. So I've already selected 4 images, and I'll walk with you through how I created them. So my image size is 1638 by 2560. And if you have a premium account on Canva, you can create a custom size with those dimensions that will give you the right dimensions for an ebook cover. You'll see in my images that I have, I'm using the preview, so it does have the watermark of Adobe still there, which is fine because I won't use this for the final book, but I am using this to kind of play around with the image and the text, etc. So on your uploads, you can upload the images that you like to use. So you'll see here I have this first cover, which is a Black man holding a saxophone. Another image where it's like a city background with him playing a saxophone. One image where it is a Black man playing a saxophone, but his face is out of the image. And then the last is more of an artistic flair of a Black man playing the saxophone. So these 4 images are ones that I want to play with to see what they would look like on the cover. So once I've added those images onto the cover, you can play with the ratio, you can flip it around. If the image isn't fitting the way you like, you can flip it around, etc. here. I wanted the saxophone to be a major part of the image, so I want to be able to see that. And a lot of times I do not include the entire face of whatever characters I am using. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. There's a theory that when a reader looks at a book, you want them to be able to imagine their ideal character. So you don't want to use too much of their features because one, it will characterize the person that they will be reading about, or two, especially if you're using a male in a romance, you want that person to be able to envision the person that they dream of. So as they're reading the romance, they can imagine the guy they want in the book themselves. So I tend to expand the image until I don't see many of their features, like in this image here. Once I have the image the way I like it on the screen, then I start playing with the text, my name, and the title of the story. So the title of the story, like I said, is Risk It All. It's a romance novella, so I want to make sure that I have that in the image. I went with this text because I want to be bold on the center of the image here. And this text is called League Spartan. So sometimes I'll either go through the text that they have available here, the combinations that Canva has, and select one of those, something that goes with the vibe of the book. And another thing when you're looking at text is you want to make sure that you are in alignment with some of the text that you have on the books that you're seeing here. So there is some script, there are bold letters, there are bold words. Here you see some light text with script combined. So depending on the vibe that you're going for and the text that you'll have on the screen, you want to make sure that you look at the text so that it gives off that vibe of a romance cover. So for instance, you wouldn't want to use this boo text here because that's giving off, Halloweenish vibes, so something more like a suspense book or a horror book maybe, but not romance. And once you have the text on the screen, you can also start playing with it. If that's not exactly the vibe you're going for, you can start playing with the different text options that Canva has available. If you have premium, you'll have a lot more options available to you. If you do not, your text will be limited. But we'll just change that text there so you can see how you can change the text around here. You can change the color of the text so that it stands out here on the screen. And we just want to change this text here. Let's just change the color. Ideally, you want it to stand out from the image as well as you want it to be in alignment with the other covers that you've seen on Amazon and elsewhere for the covers that you want to be in alignment with. So you can play around with that until you get exactly what you're looking for, and then be sure to do something similar for your author name as well. Then you can see I've played with different images and the same text. So I have that image with the more artistic flair for the background image. I also have the one with just the blue and not any of his facial features here, basically featuring the image of the saxophone. And then I have this one, which I actually like the most, which is this male playing the saxophone, kind of a blurred image there. And then Risk It All, and the title here. And then I have my name. So for the image and the colors that you use, you can use colors that are within the image so everything kind of vibes well together. So here I've selected a color from the image itself, which is this color here for my title, or excuse me, for my pen name. And then for my title, I've gone with white here. I may not play around with that a little bit more. But once you have the image exactly how you like it, you have the title the way you like it, and your pen name the way you like it, you can start playing around with different variations of the image. You can edit the photo. Canva now has different options where you can blur things out, take things out, add things in, change the effect, so blur it, focus it, add shadows to the image. You can do something similar with the text as well. So you can add an effect to it. I like to use shadow so that the text pops out from the image so it's not as flat. That is one thing I will love to use there. And you can start playing with the transparency of that and start making it more transparent or less transparent so that it stands out the way you like it. You can change the color of the shadow. So if you want that shadow to be a different color from the actual text, you can do that as well to give it more pop so it stands out a little bit more. Um, I always do that so that the text on the actual cover stands out a little bit more because the title is very important. The image is important, but so is the title. You want to make sure that the reader can know what the title is and has no confusion there on what that is, and that your name as well. You want the readers to know who wrote this book. Um, you will see as you scroll Amazon, 9 times out of 10, if it is a big author, I always say the bigger the author is, the larger the name gets because it's their name that's typically selling the book more than any cover art that you can have on the book cover. So the title name may start getting a little bit larger, but play around with the sizing and the proportions of your pen name, the title, and the image, and something that stands out so that the title stands out, the image stands out, and everything is giving across what you want it to give. Once you're done with your cover, then you can export it out of Canva. So you can export it as a PNG and a JPEG. So PNG to use in advertisements, etc., and then JPEG to actually upload to KDP and other sites. Once you're ready, one thing to remember is to make sure that you include the actual image that you like from Adobe stock or anywhere that you use your final photos. Make sure you're not using the one with the watermarks on it. You don't want to come across any issues there. And then once you're done, just export it out and upload it into Canva and anywhere else that you'll be using your cover file. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions on creating a cover or where I get my photos, text, how I use Canva, any features of Canva that would be helpful for me to go over, I can definitely go over that as well. Again, thank you.